this here's the jointer. No, this here's the rotor, sorry. Now what this machine does is it can put a decorative edge on a sharp edge of the board. So right now that is really, really sharp. So if you were to build furniture or something like that, you don't want to sell that to a customer because if you fall, you can hurt yourself, cut yourself. So this here we have different bits that we can put in to the router. Just for now, the two that we use most in the shop is we use a chamfer, which is 45 degrees.
Say that again.
Chamfer. Mr. Neale likes that because I put a chamfer on everything. Or you can put a radius, which for the Muskoka chairs we put radiuses on the edge of all the boards. But right now we're going to put a 45 so it's not sharp. And as you can see, there's a bearing on the top of the router bit. So right now you can tell that it's way above the table. It's going to take a big cut, as you can see right here. So if you were to take the board like this, you see how the distance between the board is? It's quite big. So we don't want to take that big of a cut. So the handle on the side, and once again, just like there's a dial right on top of the router table. When you turn it, every turn is 1/16 of an inch. So if I wanted to make one turn, that brings it down 1/16 of an inch. 2, 3. So let's check now. So right now it's barely touching. So let's just put a tiny chamfer on it right now. To start it, loosen the emergency stop, hit the start button, push from the right side to the left side, going tight against the bearing. As you can see, it puts a nice edge on the side of the board, and it's not sharp anymore. Now if I wanted to change the router bit, there's a key. In the key, there's 2 dowels that sticks inside the plate. You put it on, and you turn counterclockwise. Right. And it pulls the plate out.
We make sure the power of the emergency shutoff is turned off.
You raise the router as high as it can possibly go. And it has these 2 keys. So you put one key on the bottom nut, one key on the top nut, and you turn counterclockwise to loosen it off.
Now this has been on there all summer,
Here we go. Yeah.
so it's quite stiff.
So it loosens it off.
It doesn't need to be tightened that tight.
You give it a little tap just to loosen the collar. The router bit comes off. Now we have 2 different sizes. We have a 1/4 of an inch for the 1/4 inch shank, or we have the 1/2 inch collet for the 1/2 inch shank. For if you're doing a lot like really heavy material, you want to use the bigger size. So it's, you stick it on, push it all the way down, and tighten it clockwise. Loosen it down.
Now the red circle also is a good guide for where your fingers should not be when you're using this tool. The direction of feed is written right on the table, but as you're putting your piece across, you can creatively put your hands on the wood in areas where it is not making contact with the blade.
And right now, if you wanted to cut the perfect radius, obviously the bottom of the radius on the tool has to be flush with the table. Right? Just you can kind of feel. Now if I wanted to put a radius on there, we'll cut this. Now this radius is a 1/2 inch, so it's quite big of a cut. But the emergency stop. put a perfect radius on the board for you. And when you're cutting a radius, you cut slow. You don't hog it through the material. You go nice and slow and you'll get a nice smooth finish. After you're finished, yes, the dust collector comes off. Suck up all the sawdust. Put it back in. Wind it back down towards, so nobody cuts themselves if they put it on without not knowing, or if there's someone fooling around. And that's the safety on the router table.